Good morning. Welcome to Northwest Unitarian Universalist Church, where we are gathered both virtually and in person as one connected community. I'm Tom Ott, your worship leader for this morning's service, and I'm joined by Reverend Julie Brock, Alex Meyer, and guest musicians Mark Denny and Kari Gunderson. Okay. If you're a visitor online and would like Northwest to stay in touch with you, please fill out the visitor form appearing in the chat box. And if you're with us in person, you can fill out the visitor sign-in form in the atrium. So now we greet our neighbors with a wave from wherever you are.
So we have a lot of announcements today, but they are fun announcements. So we have cards that tell you where service is going to be. They are out on the table in the atrium. Nancy's got one right there. Nancy, show everybody. So grab one of those. They are out on the atrium table. They're at the greeters table. I think there's some in the back. If you need more, you can see Martha or Abby. So we have wherever we're going to be next, it's going to be in the newsletter. It's going to be on the website, and it's going to be written on those cards. But in brief, next week, Northwest is going to be here for a congregational meeting and a service here. Detroit is invited to go to Farmington Hills for lawn games and the GA sermon projected in the sanctuary. Detroit, you are also welcome to come here, but you will be hearing a sermon I have given you before. Although if you remembered what I said 3 years ago, good for you. The week after that, we will be back here again with Eli preaching at Northwest. The week after that, we are taking a field trip to the DIA. Fun stuff. So next week, where are we going to be? Here or Farmington. The week after that, where are we going to be?
Here.
The week after that, where are we going to be?
The DIA.
You guys are so good. Okay. The one more thing I also want to say is we have so much energy. Look at this room. The kids are going to do a play. I have a couple of really exciting announcements, but both congregations are running deficit budgets. So if you have not pledged, or if you have not pledged all that you can, we really ask that you do so. It helps support the kids program, and it helps support the staff, and it keeps the lights on. We're doing really incredibly good work here. Yesterday, we had a vigil, and we went out and protested. We went out and showed up at Pride. We're doing all kinds of cool things, but it's really been highly supported by the staff. And so, if you want to keep the level of staffing that you have now, which means y'all don't have to do as much work, please do pledge. Speaking of staff, y'all know Martha's last day is June 30th, right? We're going to do something special for her. She was an interim. Can we give it up for Martha, though, for being here? Yes! Oh, I think she can hear you because she's in the booth or the office over there. So can we say, thank you, Martha?
Thank you, Martha.
Oh, wait, actually, I have to do it. Ready? Good job. You did a good job. Good job. You did a good job. GOODJOB, you did a good job. That's right. Keep supporting your RE programs. So, that's exciting, but we also have exciting news that we have hired a full-time replacement for Martha, who actually started 2 weeks ago. It is Miss Abigail Thibodeau. Abby is going to be our administrator going forward. Be nice to her. Brooklyn, you're always nice to everyone, so. All right. Her brother has something to say about that. Another thing that I have to announce is another staff thing, and it is that this is Eli's last day as our intern. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. We were not prepared for this. You should have made a much bigger deal about this. And I would have, except he is not leaving us. He has accepted a position as quarter-time minister of pastoral care for next year. But it's still, the UUA says we still have to call him a student. So it's still my job to teach him. And one of the things that Eli is not good at is accepting praise and getting made a big deal out of. So Eli, I'm gonna need you to come up to the chancel for a learning moment. And we're gonna need to do it again, ready?
Good job, you did a good job. Good job, you did a good job. GOOTJOB, you did a good job.
And as some of the congregants are sitting around trying to figure out what to get Eli on his last day, I want to talk about this conversation because it shows you what a cool person Eli was. Because we were going back and forth between something for basket weaving, a soundtrack of bullfrogs making nature noises, or what we actually ended up getting him, which is all. It's a homegrown, grow your own mushrooms in the backyard kit. So I just wanted to really quickly, we're going to do 3 of these. So raise your hand if you want to be this person. Does anybody want to tell a story or an anecdote or give Eli a compliment? Does anyone want to say what Eli being their minister means? Brooklyn, we'll do you and then 3 of them, okay?
Okay, you were fun, you were cool, and yeah.
Yes. Does anyone else have an Eli anecdote? Anyone else want to say something nice to Eli? Wilder, you want to?
Okay, so, meh. Okay, so, I just like to play something with my mom and dad, with my. I don't want to.
All right, good, Wilder, thank you.
I'd like to say, Eli, I'm very proud of you from coming from the farm fields of Bay County, near my home, and making a big, a big contribution to the betterment of all of us.
Yes, and we have deeply appreciated your extra services and are looking forward to and glad that that will continue. We're thankful to have you to be a trusted person that's here in the congregation that will be continuing for pastoral care, and somebody that people know, a familiar face, and someone that people feel so comfortable around. And thank you for taking up space and creating space so that it's an inclusive environment for folks and that people are comfortable speaking out and being their full selves while they're in this space with you.
And I'd just like to thank Eli for having one of the best bumper stickers on the back of his truck. Did that come with the truck, I was wondering?
Greg Kiert, I first saw you in Ann Arbor, actually, when you gave a guest sermon there, probably almost 2 years ago now. It was such a banger. I mean, Eli is like a part of the reason why we wanted to join this congregation, because we were so excited to see your stuff, so.
This is something that I told Eli personally. I want you to know how very much I enjoyed all your sermons. I have found them well written, very well delivered, and I will miss the fact that I probably won't hear another one.
But it'll be cheaper.
Unless you want to do it?
Eli, it has been such a joy watching you develop as a preacher. And when you walk into the room, you just bring a level of peace and calm to it. And I personally deeply appreciate that, and I'm sure that there are many others who feel that as well.
You are loved and you are appreciated. And I will do mine later because I'm not going to make you do that in front of everyone. Thank you for accepting this internship, and thank you for being on this journey with us. Can I give you a hug? And we have one more piece of joyous news. Eva, you want to give it? Oh, you can give it. Thank you. I just turned it off.
So I would like to recognize our 8th grade graduates because we have 5 8th grade graduates this year. So could Jasper Rogerson stand up? Woo! And Uriah Coco. Oliver Kinnan. Oliver. Woo! And then B. Various, who's not here, and Jonas Botson.
Y'all, what joy. What joy and what beauty. And I think joy and beauty is the perfect thing for our Flower Communion celebration. We are here today celebrating Flower Communion. And what happens on Flower Communion for the uninitiated, you know how you have like 2 holidays and 2 rituals? Our holidays are, Earth Day and Pride. And our rituals are Flower Communion and Water Communion. Flower Communion is the time at the end of the church year where we build a bouquet of our individual flowers and then take one away. Excuse me, guys, I'm getting over something. And then take one away with us for the summer, because y'all know you don't come to church in the summer too much. And you bring that flower with you so you can have it in your home and have a piece of your community with you. We have an honored guest musician here with us today, and she has requested that we dance the prelude. So I'm gonna say, everybody, won't you come on up here? Jamberger Cone, can I get you to come help me too? Will you come on up here, dance if you want to, take a flower, and let's build this Flower Communion vase while we're dancing the prelude. Ready? Take it away.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3.
I love a guest musician that asks us to dance. Folks, I also just want to say, look how beautiful we are all together.
The flaming chalice is a symbol of our faith. We light it knowing this morning that many other Unitarian Universalist congregations across this land and around the world are doing the same. We light our chalice with words from Northwest UU's mission statement. So please repeat after me. We light this flame to grow in spirit, knowledge, and action.
We light this flame to grow in spirit, knowledge, and action.
Accept and challenge one another.
Accept and challenge one another.
To support each other in times of joy and need.
To support each other in times of joy and need.
And each week we also offer a land acknowledgement. We honor and pay our respects to the land on which we live and work, which was violently stolen through colonialism and genocide, and the forced removal of this land's traditional stewards. These stewards of the Anishinaabeg, the Council of Three Fires, which include the Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi people, also known as the Ottawa, Chippewa, and Potawatomi tribes. We also acknowledge the people of African descent who were forcibly removed from their land and separated from their families through kidnapping, enslavement, and pay reverence and respect to them for building this country's infrastructure and economy with no compensation or reparations to date. And in honor of all the beautiful people who built this country, will you rise and join me in our opening hymn, number 305, De Coloris.
Flower
I really, sorry, Michael, sorry, Michael. I was just excited. I really feel like that is like the least butchered I'd ever heard that Spanish in a UU congregation. Like, blessings. Thank you, Lencha, for leading. Thank you, Lencha. And now, our time for all ages, as presented by our children, a story of Juneteenth.
Okay. Yeah. Get ready. Okay, just making. Happy Juneteenth, Jamboree. Come and join the fun. Great grandeur, tell us a story. Great grandeur, tell us a story. Gather around, children. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time.
Opal Lee began to tell a freedom story that she had heard as a child.
Once a blazing time, black bodies were bought and sold like cattle.
Black men plowed the fields but were not allowed to own the land. Black women cooked the food but were not allowed to feast from the master's table.
Black children cleaned the school buses but were not allowed to read or write.
Earning and learning were against the law.
Slavery was a thief.
American slavery dragged on the plague until January 1st, 1863, when President Lincoln wielded courage and signed the Emancipation Proclamation with a mighty stroke.
On the first day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves shall be forever free.
Woo! Glory, glory, glory. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time.
Freedom was dazzling news. However, Texas, where Opal Lee lived, was a very big state, and it was many miles away from President Lincoln.
White masters defied his words and did not tell the slaves they were free.
Excuse me. For 2 years, 5 months, and 18 days, black bodies remained in bondage, unaware of their lawful freedom.
Then on June 19, 1865, in Galveston, Texas, Major General Gordon Granger, accompanied by Union Army troops, stood on the balcony of a two-story building and used his big booming voice to say,
"In accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free."
Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means freedom time. Everybody, let's celebrate.
Remember my words.
Remember, wait,
My words. Remember my words.
wait, where?
We were here.
Oh, remember my words.
Keep
Juneteenth is bigger than Texas. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Great grandeur, tell us a story of Juneteenth when you were young. Great grandeur, tell us a story of Juneteenth when you were young. Okay, everyone. Listen up. Story time. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time.
Opal Lee told stories of her childhood growing up in Fort Worth, Texas, when the only day Black families were allowed in white spaces was Juneteenth.
Some white families did not like that, and on June 19, 1939, 500 rioters burned down Opal Lee's house.
Freedom is a golden coin. Struggle makes it gold and shine. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time.
Opal Lee learned that many people did not know about Juneteenth. Most people believed all slaves were free when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed.
She determined that if people with hatred in their hearts were going to react with violence when Juneteenth was celebrated in Texas, she would show them by making sure it was celebrated all around the United States.
Opal Lee kept on teaching. She earned her bachelor's degree in elementary education and her master's in counseling and guidance. Opal made sure to teach her students about Juneteenth.
Where? Right here? Wait, what? Yeah. Opal kept reaching. Opal kept on reaching. She reached out over to 1.5 million people and got them to sign a petition. Oh my God! To make Juneteenth a national holiday.
Opal kept on walking. In September of 2016, at the age of 89 years old, Opal and some of her followers walked from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C., walking 2.5 miles a day to symbolize the 2.5 years it took for enslaved Texans to be freed after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Opal kept on talking. Opal worked for decades to spread the word about Juneteenth, and on January of 2017, she reached Washington, D.C. and put a letter signed by 1.5 million people in the hands of President Barack Obama, and asked him to make Juneteenth a national holiday.
With so little time left in his presidency, we need to wait till 2021 when President Joe Biden made Juneteenth an official holiday in the United States.
At age 93, At the age of 93, all of Opal Lee's hard work paid off. She never gave up and deserved to be celebrated along with the holiday.
I kept on walking. I kept on talking. Kept on teaching. Kept on reaching. Because you know what I say.
Freedom, hope, and joy
Freedom,
divine.
joy.
Juneteenth means it's freedom time.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
This month, Northwest Community Partner is the Ruth Ellis Center, named in honor of a resilient Detroit icon, Ruth Ellis. The Ruth Ellis Center works to create a supportive environment and community for LGBTQ+ young people. All undesignated donations will be split between Ruth Ellis Center and our congregation. You can give in a variety of ways that are now visible on your screen, and for those of us here in person, we will place a collection basket for checks and cash. There's also a QR code in your order of service. And so, thank you. Yeah, we honor your generosity, ensuring that our collective resources do a greater good for ourselves and our world than any of us would have done individually. So now we have. Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. I'm perfectly fine with it if y'all are. I'm Trina, and I'm a member at Northwest UU. And so just wanted to take a moment to say thank you and to acknowledge all the folks out in the streets yesterday. So if you took some time to go to a No Kings rally or sign making or a vigil, raise your hand up high, right? You know, we were reminded yesterday during the vigil that we had that not only do our UU values require us, right, to be respectful and kind, but to also get our butts in the street and take action, right? And to make sure that we are there, making sure that other bodies are safe and have the space they need. So it is our responsibility, and I am so grateful for so many of you all. It looks like about 50% of us. And finally, just want to give a shout out to Moses, Michigan United, and Mi Poder. These are all organizations that had speakers come and speak to us during our vigil and gave us concrete action steps. So if you missed that, I'm sorry, that's a big bummer. And y'all should come next time. But we'll make sure to let you all know about all the action steps that were mentioned in the vigil. So again, let's get on the streets, y'all.
Follow Trina's footsteps. This is a short brigade.
Yeah.
Watch me fall off. That will be a sorrow. Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Morris. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a member of Northwest Pastoral Care Committee. I want to remind any of you that need support of our community can reach out to Reverend Julie Brock or Pastor Eli Krantz, or by emailing pastoral care team at pastoralcare@northwesternuu.org. The collective cares of our community are recorded in a book of joys and sorrows, which will remain on the red cabinet when you walk in. If you would like to submit a joy or sorrow virtually, please email pastoralcare@northwestuu.org. When I announce your joys or sorrows, please raise your hand. Well, some of these people aren't here. Did I actually forget a piece of paper? That's just unbelievable to me. Do you see it over there? I have a sorrow that I'm so disorganized. Rick Nielsen suffered multiple fractures in his ankle that required surgery. It happened at Rosie's birthday party. He is home, but the recovery will take approximately 3 months. If anyone can offer a play date to Rosie or later transportation for PT, contact Pastoral Care or call the Nielsens. Our minister emerita, Kimmy Regal, will be having brain surgery Monday called deep brain, this is something she scheduled, not an emergency, called deep brain stimulation. This is a good thing, an elective surgery to help control symptoms of Parkinson's. She'll stay with her daughter, Ariana Regal, for the week after surgery. And finally, Margaret and Randy Block have brought and are moving to a new house in Royal Oak. There he is, Royal. It's moving to the other side of Woodward, right? This big move means we have been putting all our boxes in boxes. I want to thank the many NWUUs who attended the marches, the No Kings March yesterday. For these and the joys and sorrows that are held in the sanctuary of our hearts, I offer this prayer. Sources of radiance and resilience, keep watch with those who work or watch or weep this night. May the suffering be soothed. May the sick be tended. May the weary find rest. May the dying and those who love them find peace. May the joyous be shielded. And may all who know that we are surrounded in a love that is with us always, a web that connects us to all that exists. May we take a few moments of silence to be with each other in the sacred space. We will come out singing. And happy birthday to Amelia. She's 17 today.
Okay, the reading today is to the people who have mistaken freedom for liberation. To be free, you must embrace the breadth of your own existence without apology, even if they try to take it from you. You must know not that you can do whatever you want. You are not a kudzu vine eating entire hillsides for the purpose of feeding your own lush life. You must know instead that inside you are entire universes, milky blue, magenta, and gold, expanding. But to actually be free, you must know and you must fight for the entire universes inside of everyone else. Being free is not a license, but a promise. You are now invited to rise, embody your spirit, and join in singing hymn number 78, Color and Fragrance.
This is one we only do on Flower Communion, so I'll play the melody through once through, just to refresh your memory. Color and fragrance, magical rhythm, sweet changing music will change us with them. Life within life, inner light gently glowing. Truly you seem to be God's vision growing. Oh, starry heavens, worlds of all splendor, songs without number, new life engender, wheel in a wheel with the light brightly glowing, moving in harmony, God's vision growing, and full of pebbles, high mountain passes, depths of the ocean, dew on the grasses, great things and small with the light gently glowing, word of the wordless song, God's vision growing, delicate beings, place weak and sparrow, in field and forest, clover and yarrow, life greeting life with the light brightly glowing, none are too small to be God's vision growing. In human icebergs, the soul of living illumines altars of loving living. Greeting we meet, seeing light brightly glowing, share in the greater life, God's vision growing. One more. Shaper of all things, to us you've given our chance to keep near, on earth a heaven, moving in harmony, light gently glowing. May we be gratefully God's vision growing. Yeah.
I'm actually going to invoke the privileges of the preacher's wife, of the slightly under the weather preacher, and ask if my husband will go get me more water. He's a good preacher's wife, everybody. So that song, Color and Fragrance, we sing it on the Flower Communion Day because it was written by Norbert Chopik for this occasion. Do y'all know who Norbert Chopik was? Yes, some of you, maybe the newer folk, maybe not. Norbert Chopik was a Unitarian minister in Eastern Europe, and he fled Eastern Europe because, Nazis. And he came to the United States, and he taught us all this beautiful, Sharia, thank you. Look, it's our nurse. Taught us all this ceremony where everybody brings a beautiful, delicate flower, and they put it in a vase, and we see how beautiful we are together. And then we take one different away from us because we all have something to give, and we all have something to take. Oh, thank you so much, Joel. And I'm thinking about flower communion, but actually not that much. Because y'all, it's been a weekend. Y'all, it has been a weekend. We were here yesterday, and we had all of those organizations that Trina named telling us what was going on in their communities and how we needed to show out for frontline communities. And then so we made posters, we ate lunch together, and then we went to these big, giant demonstrations all over the United States, all over the world. They had no King's rallies in England. We appreciate the support. So all over the world, and at the same time, there was this military demonstration that happened in Washington, D.C. A couple of people, although far less, showed up to that one too. And they kept talking about the same thing at both. I thought it was interesting that they kept talking about the same thing. They kept talking about freedom. Over and over again, freedom. We were at Clark Park yesterday for the No King's Day rally. And somebody came up to us and they were like, "This is just like the 60s. I wasn't around for the 60s, but my mother said he didn't look old enough to have been either, but maybe he's just got a good care routine, who knows. But all that kept happening for me the rest of the day was all of these songs from the 60s about freedom kept running through my head. Some of you were around for the 60s, right? And even if you weren't, we all know 60s music. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna start one. Come in when you know it. Ready? Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, and nothing don't mean nothing, honey, if it ain't free. Oh, well, feeling good was easy, Lord, when he sang the blues, and feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me, my Bobby McGee. See, we know it. Good job. I'm like, freedom, yeah, it means nothing left to lose, and feeling good is good enough. It's like, do I believe that? I mean, I love me some Janis, but do I believe that? And then another song kept coming in my head, and you guys can try to do this one. No, I can't, so I was like, I better think about this. I better think about what you're trying to do to me. Oh, think. Let your mind go and let yourself be free. I'm not singing in her key.
No, you're fine. You're good.
Yeah, okay, Ruby, sing it. Come on. No, just that part. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Yeah, freedom. I can't sing like Aretha. That's all right. I'm not shy. No one can. So, I'm like, wait a minute. Aretha's saying something completely different in that song than Janis is, right? Aretha's talking about freedom. Think about what you're trying to do to me. Let your mind, let yourself be free. You need me and I need you. Without each other, there is nothing we both can't do. Like, you should show each other respect. And I'm like, wait, that's a completely, I'm not gonna sing that one either. And I'm like, that's a completely different message. That is a completely different message. One of those messages is about personal freedom, freedom from the restraints of society. And the other one is a message of freedom from the oppressions of society. The other one is about being recognized for your own worth and dignity, not trying to get away, but trying to be part of. And then I thought, well, yeah, look at the two women that sang those songs. Janis Joplin was a rebel for sure. She didn't fit in with society. She had to be a woman in the mid-20th century. That's not easy. But she had that privilege to want to just get away from it all, right? Aretha Franklin fought for every piece of visibility that she had. She was so talented that she was able to embark on a totally way of doing business for Black women artists. She would show up at a gig and demand money up front because she learned that she wouldn't get it if she didn't. Is this microphone going out? It's working? Okay. And she would take it on stage with her. She had to learn to make herself part of the society. It's almost like freedom is something that's individual. It's almost like Aretha wasn't even trying to talk about freedom. She was trying to talk about something else, almost like liberation. Like freedom is individual and liberation is done in relationship with one another. One of my favorite political commentators, this guy named Sam Cedar. He does the Majority Report. You guys know about him? Watch him, it's good. His shtick is arguing with libertarians. So they will call into his radio show and inevitably, like a white dude in his 20s, will call into the radio show and give this utopian vision of the world so long as the government just got out of the way. And Sam would go, okay, sounds good. Who delineates property rights? And the guy goes, inevitably, just whoever's there first. And Sam says, okay, so then let's say you're there first, and I roll up and I say, I think this land is mine now. What are you gonna do about it? And they're like, well, there's gotta be like somebody who has like the enforcement of that, like we could hire a private security company. And he goes, okay, what if I hire a bigger private security company than you can? And he's like, well, then we just all like pool together our money and like get a private security company that's like for everybody. And he's like, my friend, you just invented taxes. And inevitably this happens because you all know that there hasn't ever been a time in human history when someone hasn't said, this is my land, and somebody with a bigger security force came and said, I disagree. And that we have decided that we are going to try to strive to make sure that we have laws and rules. But here's the thing. So this everybody for themselves, freedom, it actually, without bounds, freedom out of the context of relationship usually turns into bullying. Freedom out of context of relationship turns into bullying. Freedom means you are free to get what you can get for yourself, but liberation is something different. Freedom happened with the Emancipation Proclamation, but that didn't free the slaves in Texas because they didn't have access to the knowledge that they were free. Liberation happened when people kept pushing and saying, no. While people are still in bondage, we must continue to work. Folks, people are still in bondage. People are still in bondage to this day. They're in immigrant detention centers. People are in conversion therapy camps for LGBTQ folks. People are still in bondage, and it is our job to respond to that. It is our job to respond to that in this moment. You know Norbert Chopik, that guy I was telling you about Flower Communion? He made it to the United States. He made it out of Eastern Europe. He freed himself from the Nazis. And he went back. He went back and he died because his people had not been liberated. Norbert Chopik was killed by Nazis after he had been freed. Harriet Tubman freed herself and continued to work for liberation. For those of us in bodies that have been freed, I want you to know that we are not liberated. for those of us in bodies that have been freed. We are not liberated until we join with every person who has had freedom stripped away from them, every person who is scared of the government right now, every person who is scared of having their housing or their health care taken away. Because here's the other thing, you can't be free if you don't have a place to live. You can't be free if you're not healthy and don't have health care. You can't be free if you can't afford food. Right now, everyone on the right is talking about freedom. And it does not feel like this is getting freer. So maybe we have to reclaim that word. But also, I think we have to start talking about liberation, about collective liberation, about what we can do for each other, about the gardens we are going to grow together. Because, this is pretty. I like it. But that's art. And together, we are so much more than we are apart. And our forebearers have been the ones that have been working for not just freedom, but liberation. So may we go into this moment and this movement that we are facing in this world, even though it is scary. And may we know that we are not alone. We are not a single-stemmed flower. We are an entire bouquet, an array of community. We have it within us to go forward and make sure that our liberation is collective. We can do little things each day. Sometimes it's going to be bringing a fiddler to service, to add to the service. And sometimes it's going to be bringing your kids early on in the morning. And sometimes it's going to be signing a petition. And sometimes it's going to be taking really good care of yourself so that you can show up the next time. We have marching orders from our community organizations. We're going to follow them? You'll be hearing for us. Thank you for showing up today. Happy Flower Communion. Happy Juneteenth. And happy Father's Day. I'm so sorry. Can we give it up for all the dads? Literally watching Joel and Zach dance in a very non-toxic masculine way was like just a joy of mine earlier today. So folks, it is now time to claim our flowers. Steve is going to, right? All right, Steve is going to lead us in some meditative sound, and we are going to come forward and claim our flower to take home with us as a reminder of our community. Is there anybody who has mobility issues that would like a flower brought to them? Let us close our service by singing number 1064, Blue Boat Home, in our teal hymnals.
Never
We will now extinguish our chalice, so please repeat after me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of hope,
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of hope,
the warmth of community,
the warmth of community,
or the fire of commitment.
or the fire of commitment.
These we carry in our hearts
Until carry in our hearts
until we are together again.
until we are together again.
At GA in 2014, there was a woman who was leading all of the songs, and of course, it was GA, so we sang Blue Boat Home at one point. And this woman was so professional, she had a beautiful voice, she never missed a note. But when we started singing the second verse of Blue Boat Home, she broke down in tears. She broke down in tears and she couldn't keep singing. And when they sang the line, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, she just reached her hands out, and 4,000 Unitarian Universalists rose their voices and sang the words for her, which she could not. When she came back to the microphone, she said, hold on a second, Uriah. When she came back to the microphone, she said that her husband had died that year. And that was the song that she sang to him while he was passing. And she said that every time it came to those words, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, it made her feel like it was gonna be okay. Somehow, some way, through all of the tragedy, that she knew she was not alone. Y'all, that is what we are doing here today. That's why we do ritual, because we all might say things in different ways, but we understand the beauty of a flower and we take with us the feeling of community. The world is scary right now, but I am drifting here with these ship's companions, all these kindred pilgrim souls, and we're gonna make our ways by the light of the heavens in the only beautiful blue boat home that we have, which means that we're gonna do it together, seeking not just freedom, but collective liberation for ourselves, for our neighbors, and for our planet. Go in peace, return in love. Blessed be and amen.